brings in 2 churches here, upgrade 1 and charge level 1. So he's now waiting on the cooldown. He's going to bring in a church up here in this north western base first. Then he's going to bring 2 down here, and he's going to mimic the other side. Got his Kobold Engineer and Templar ready. Scout Templar is a good one to have upgraded at least a little too, because each upgrade on her increases the repair per second by 5, I believe it is. So that'll just keep the building healing just a little bit faster with each upgrade. And whenever the church is disintegrating multiple targets, it actually starts to take damage over time. So that's why he has the Engineer, and he's going to have a Templar in each church. He's also going to have 6 churches total. 1 in the northwest, 2 in the southwest, and 2 in the southeast. And then he's also going to build one here at his second orb. Brings in a Templar for it. And he's moving his Skyfire Drake army out. He's going to bring those over to the eastern base, where he can build up the rest of his force.
Enemies to the shard. Stop them.
Now, thankfully, he doesn't have to do any more of that micromanagement on his defenses. It's all pretty much set up, and it'll take care of itself. He's swapped out his orbs again here. He's now Fire, Frost, and Nature. This will allow for some healing and crowd control. I believe he uses Cold Snap in this deck, at least once. I don't believe I have it in the replay, but I think I saw it at one point. There's a Will Sapper down here that's going to paralyze his guys, so he had to use a lot of Surge of Light and Ray of Light on him to keep him alive. Going to fly down here while he gets a little bit more reinforcements. I think he's going to bring in 2 more, bringing his total up to 8. Bring the Skyfire Drakes up here. Some of them will get paralyzed, but since he has so many units, it doesn't last very long. Goes ahead and takes that out, and then he obliterates these land forces. Remember not to fly your flying units over top of those vile blood pools, otherwise they will take pretty heavy damage. He'll run a Scavenger up here once the coast is clear. He gets his 4th orb, and the devastation begins. He's going to actually go with a Nature here and bring in Wheel of Gifts for rejuvenescence and damage reduction. I don't believe that you would need Wheel of Gifts, it just makes it a lot easier. You could probably bring in have a card like Regrowth in your deck. I'm not sure if he has it in here or not. It looks very similar to Ray of Light, so it's kind of hard to tell. But he'll bring in 3 of these wheels.
Witches are close to the shard. Stop them.
And then once he's done with bringing in the wheels, he'll go ahead and destroy his orbs. I think he leaves 1 Nature, and then he's going to build up 2 Fire, so that way he can bring in the Fire Dragon, which is one of the best flying 4th tier units. Oh, and also he brings in Giant Worm at each base in the southwest and southeast. And that's really important because the Twilight Dancers begin to spawn at this point once he's taken that 4th orb. The Dancers start to come in, and they're basically a fire dancer, so they have really long range, and I believe they even do siege damage just like a fire dancer. So you need those to go out and fly out and kill those dancers whenever they happen to come in. Here's the Fire Dragon army. Go ahead and bring in the last of his charges on that. He has all 3 charge upgrades and all 3 upgrades for his Fire Dragons. Fire Dragon is a really good unit, and what makes it really good in particular is its Rage ability, which makes it increase its damage over time. So the longer it attacks, it increases its damage, I believe, up to 400% of its normal attack. So you really don't want to have to deal with an angry Fire Dragon. you'll see that as they get raged, their wings will begin to have more and more fire on them. And then if they don't fight for about 10 seconds, that rage wears off. So if you're wanting to keep them at their maximum damage, it's good to keep them fighting. Just gonna fly over here and go ahead and take out this base now. Dragons have cooled off. Doesn't matter though, they'll get angry real quick. And while his wheels keep his units nice and healthy and not taking damage, I think that a regrowth would be able to achieve the same. So if you don't have Wheel of Gifts, I think you can still manage this. All of the charge upgrades on these are relatively important, though, if you are wanting to finish the map as quickly as he did. I believe Giant Worm at least has a cooldown of over 200 seconds. So you're looking at around 3 minutes wait time for each time you have to bring in one of those without the charge upgrades.
Witches are close to the shard. Stop them.
So that's not something you want to have to bother with. I go ahead and slow down the replay here as he gets ready to finish the map. Throws down a ray of light. Takes out all these guys here and the last two buildings. And then once you take out the buildings here, you have to destroy the rogue Twilight Witches that have already spawned that are running around the map. And his Church of Negation is going to end up doing that for him.
Good work.
And there's his giant worm sitting down there waiting for Twilight Dancers.
Fine work. The infestations are gone. End this. Hunt down the remaining witches. Witches are close to the shard. Stop them.
Yeah, there's a couple of those dancers. Dragon takes down the witch and the dancer. And now we're just waiting for him to fade into oblivion. Well, thank you all for watching, and thank you again, Sparrow, for another wonderful replay. This has been Monoxen, and I hope you have enjoyed it and found it informative. Goodbye.